Inspiring. Inspiring. That's the single word that I would use to describe this spring semester as a member of the Moral Leadership class with Dr. Tony Andenoro and my genius classmates. I'll explain why this was an inspiring semester. I've always wanted to be in Tony's classes since I met my mentor in Ad Society, Katie Brady, who was a leadership minor as well. It's bittersweet to know that at the end of my junior year, I'm finishing my first one. It was everything I wanted and more in a class. I got to think about big issues, and they all related to problems facing our school and our world today. I got to practice problem solving and deep thinking a lot more than I expected. Being surrounded by one of the best professors and one of the greatest groups of UF students was beyond inspiring. I loved all of our discussions, and they really inspired me in my outside of class actions where I got to apply all those things and run to be the VP of Ad Society and the event coordinator of Signing Gators. I know even better where I stand as a person who is moral and ethical, and I'm also so much better at understanding different people's perspectives on the topic. I'm so happy that I feel as close to my peers and my professor that I do now after this class. I've gained so much confidence from being surrounded by such great people, and it was definitely a privilege to be a member of this class. New aspects I learned about leadership are very important, and I think that I'm going to continue to apply them in everything that I do after this. These concepts were very powerful to me, and I think that it's important to make sure that other people know about them and to show them through what I do. I think some of the best things that we talked about were the shadows and the light, being intentional, being authentic, showing optimism, improving always, not allowing normalcy, going with your gut in terms of decision making, and making sure that your decisions create fair outcomes. These were some of my favorite class discussions. They made my class takeaway from this experience so very inspiring for me and my future. Knowing myself and those around me, I think, is very important in building yourself to be a moral leader, because moral leaders are those who work their hardest to serve others and making sure that their practices align with how they feel and how others feel. In everything that you do, from your clubs to class to jobs, I think that moral leadership applies to all of them and is very, very crucial. I liked how we discussed different controversial and current events. I also liked when we discussed different past events and synthesized what they would have been if a moral leader stepped in and changed the outcome. I think that having these discussions really opened up my eyes to different leadership abilities that I had in how to be a moral leader myself. I think that these discussions allowed me to apply the concepts while also bringing in different knowledge that I already had from my major in the College of Journalism and Communications. I particularly enjoyed the Holocaust Symposium, our Diversity Day, environmental topics, and when we talked about public figures. We were exposed to many different types of people and various perspectives in our class. I think that's because we're all very different, and I think that that really enhanced our experience. It really strengthened our bond as well. I loved everyone's different perspectives. I often looked up more information based on what other people said after class to make sure I was more knowledgeable and up to date on what was happening. These were just really great moral leadership topics that we talked about and introduced me to a different depth of thought that I don't get in many other classes on campus. I think that being a moral leader is taking other people into account, improving what's there, and being a role model for the next group of moral leaders, and that's something that this class has showed me. Big takeaways that I took from this class range from wanting to keep improving, wanting to think deeper, improving my communication abilities, wanting to stand up and speak more in relation to that, knowing that leading and following both have value, remaining positive in the face of criticism and the importance of that perfection is out there, and usually it isn't achieved, but this class came pretty close. I think that I need to appreciate everything that is going on now rather than plan ahead. Every time I was in this class, I felt special and honored to be there. Learning from the professor and peers is just an amazing time. I hold the connections that I've made in this class so very dear, and I'll cherish this as one of my favorite classes on UF campus forever. In this class, I felt like it was talking straight to me at many times. Being surrounded by the great people and Dr. Tony Andenoro was just one of the best experiences that I've had at UF. It was the class I needed just at the right time. It inspired me in my internship and my decision to take an internship at a smaller agency in Nashville. It inspired me in the elections processes for my on-campus organizations such as Ad Society and Signing Gators. It was just one of the best experiences that I've had at UF, and to bring it all together, I'll leave you with one of my favorite anonymous sayings, because it is truly how I feel about being a part of this great moral leadership class and experience. Everything happens for a reason, and go Gators.